Okay, let's hear from our race-winning team from tonight's 53rd Annual Bank of America 500. And our race was won by Clint Bowyer. And he drives the number 15 5-Hour Energy benefiting Avon Foundation for Women Toyota. And congratulations, Clint, on a big win here tonight. He's joined by...
Are you tired?
What's that?
We got to pick the pace up here.
All right, let's go. I like that. 5
Yes.
hour.
Get this man a 5-hour energy. Rick?
He's joined by owner up here, Michael Waltrip, crew chief Brian Pattie. This is Clint's 8th win in his Sprint Cup Series career. His 3rd win in 2012, and his first win here at Charlotte. But Clint, talk about that win. That was a big one for you here tonight.
You know, first and foremost, this is my worst racetrack. You know, to be able to come here and compete and have cars capable of qualifying in the top 5 and racing up front, I mean, that's, man, I'm telling you, that means a lot to me. I think it speaks volumes to our team. Brian Pattie, you know, everybody that he's assembled around me from the get-go. I mean, it's truly, it makes you almost giddy, you know, and just it's so much fun to come to the racetrack knowing that you got cars that are capable of getting the job done. You just got to figure out how to make it work. You know, who would have thought in a million years after, you know, making this switch and coming over to a new family and everything that was new, that we would be in victory lane 3 times and still, well, how many races? 5 races left? Yeah, I've been paying a lot of attention. 5 races left. We're still in contention for a championship. Our
Absolutely.
First year together. I mean, just to be able to do that with a brand new sponsor, a brand new manufacturer. I mean, I'm telling you the truth. I was almost uncomfortable going to the shop at the beginning of the year because I didn't know one face there. I knew Ty Norris and Brian Pattie and Michael was, well, you were there sometimes, and if I could catch him when he was there, I could talk. But other than that, I didn't know anybody there. And you know, to walk into a new family and to be able to have the success we're having the teammates, you know, Truex and I had a lot of fun back in the Nationwide Days racing for championships and you know, grew very fond of him and had a lot of fun with him back in the day. But Mark Martin, having him for a teammate, I mean, it's just a class act to be able to come over and you know Mark Martin, if he can't win the race, he's going to do everything he can do to help you win the race. And to be in victory lane, come and congratulate us, it's an unbelievable opportunity. Toyota, a new manufacturer. You know, when we I'll just be honest. I mean, at the beginning of the year, I heard a lot of things, a lot of rumors about the engines. Let me tell you something. In a short amount of time, from the beginning of the year to right now, they've slowly and steadily become the best engine program in the sport. So just proud of everything and proud of the engineers and everybody that's been a part of it.
Great
Can
job.
I go now?
Great job tonight, Clint. You certainly don't.
I covered everything.
You did cover everything. We got a couple things to do here. Brian Pattie, talk about some of maybe the things that you had to do this weekend to get that car where it was tonight.
Well, we had a good baseline from the spring, qualified 5th in the spring, so qualified 4th this time, so it worked out well. We've evolved our setups over the summer, and going at these tracks for the second time definitely helps with the notes. But tonight, just you know, our car was just too tight, burned front tires off it too fast, and even in practice when we my spotter joked about saving fuel, we weren't really fast, so it's kind of funny that it worked out. We're saving fuel and went on gas mileage and ran them really good their last 2 stints.
Good deal. Michael Waltrip, talk about the significance of this win here tonight in Charlotte. And Clint Bowyer right now certainly has moved himself into position to contend for this title.
Well, the thing that's most special to me about the win tonight is we have a couple 160 people that work right up the road from here, and they spend so much time caressing and working on these cars and tuning them and getting them ready to go to the track. And this was their home race. They got to come watch our car drive to victory lane. So I'm very thankful for the fact that we were able to get to victory lane and our people are able to celebrate the victory. And I think a significant part of this victory, and I want to just echo Clint's sentiments, not only did the Toyota engine run with as much power as we needed to win with, we got the fuel mileage we needed to win with. We had just enough gas to do one of the most amazing starts to a burnout I ever saw. I mean, it really went kind of downhill from there. But you know, to have an engine under your hood that can perform like it did, qualifying in the top 5 with the new track record speed, have that kind of speed, and then also have the economy that it takes to race to the checker and not have to pit late. I think a lot of people need to look at what our manufacturer has done for our organization. And you know, Clint's won 3 races, and he hadn't been able to drive to victory lane yet because of getting there with just enough fuel. And that speaks volumes to what Toyota does. But then also, I mean, a guy like Brian Pattie has to sit on that box and make those calls that gets that car just across the start-finish line. And, you know, if you miss it a little bit, instead of winning, you're an asshole. And
That was last week.
and so you're not an asshole. Congratulations.
I try not to be.
Wow. We're learning a lot here tonight. Good morning, Rob Kaufman.
He was slow. He was at least 20 minutes slow to victory lane, and I don't know, were you puking
No,
or?
I took my radio back.
Oh,
I was
took a little
laughing.
walk.
No, I was laughing. This is the 3rd time that we've won, and 3rd time we had to push it to victory lane.
He told me we were good to the end, so I went ahead and took off, and it quit doing my first rotation of a burnout. So we were pretty close.
Yeah, I stopped and said hello to Denny, or congratulated Denny on a great run, and Denny said, "I've got too much gas left. I waited too long to make my run," and I said, "No, you didn't. You did perfect."
Rob Kaufman, congratulations tonight. Congratulations to everybody over at Michael Waltrip Racing. Let's take some questions now. Raise your hand. We've got Joe Menzer right here, and then we'll come over here to the right. Go ahead, Joe. Let's get him the mic, please. Bob?
Joe Menzer, NASCAR.com. I guess for Clint but mostly for Brian, I mean, did you feel like you had to go for the win to get back in the chase picture, whereas and maybe in some ways that's kind of an advantage over the guys who maybe had to play it more conservative because they're worried they had more to lose, less to gain?
Well, I mean, we went for trophies last week, too. It's the same deal. We were close on gas, and we stayed out the last caution, and probably would have run out coming to checkers there, too, if we wouldn't have gotten a wreck. So it's we're going for trophies. That's the only way you're going to beat the 2, the 4, 8, and 11. You know, that mid-pack 4th, 5th, and 6th in points we're kind of gapped a little bit from the leaders, so he had to do something special to get back into it, and this definitely helps.
Oh, yeah. I was pretty impressed with the tightrope today in pre-race. I was pretty excited about that. Did that answer him?
No.
But I thought that was pretty cool.
Did you
On the
see?
chase.
Not only was he on that wire, he was walking straight uphill.
Did you see him unclip? And then them play.
We have gone the wrong
Naturally, they
direction.
played free falling. That was real nice. Tom Petty free falling as the guy's risking his life for our entertainment. What a good song to pick. Why he's 250 foot in the air. Yeah. Thank you.
So yes, we're going to go for trophies for the next 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And we're going to focus.
Really?
Who had a question over here? Let's go, Pockris. You got a question? And then Jenna.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bob Hocker, Sporting News. Clint, why is this your
Where's
worst
your
track?
glasses, Bob?
Right here.
I can't see you. Now I can see you.
How's that? Why is this your worst track, and how do you? I mean, did you have to do anything to
Well,
try
just
to?
look at.
get
I mean, honestly, just look at my stats.
Look at the stats.
Yeah, it's horrible. I mean, even with a win, I think it's still my worst racetrack. It is hard. It's one of those racetracks where,
Easy to overdrive the corners.
yeah, saving fuel really helps me because I back the corner up and the car will rotate, and it's kind of like slapping you in the face. It's like, oh, this is how it's supposed to feel. But I'm telling you, I don't think I would have won the race had I not moved up and tried to figure out that outside line. A couple times, Jimmy was running me down, and I was like, I'm just going to go up here and back the corner up, try to make, the arc and the radius as big as possible. Started backing the corner up to get the thing to turn, and next thing you know, doing so, you're going faster and you're saving gas. So
Let's talk about Thursday.
I don't want to talk about Thursday. Let me tell you, I think that truly the run that won us the race wasn't the last run. It was the run before that, the next last run. Brian went out and was a gutsy call to go out and stretch it as long as possible on that last run. And if we had pitted one lap earlier, I think we'd have run out of gas.
It's a classic Days of Thunder. On Thursday, Clint said, I'm going to run it my way, and then Brian, a.k.a.
50
Harry
laps
Hogue,
your way and 50 laps my way.
he said, now we're going to run it my way, and Clint learned a lot on Thursday and I know you guys you have to write a story, and I'll be brief. You have to write a story about the race tonight, but if you get time on Tuesday or Wednesday and you just need to write something to make people pay you, I don't know how it works, but Brett Griffin keeps Mr. ADD here so focused and so into what he's doing. Brett is a spotter. Brett was my spotter like in 2000 when he first showed up. And I hadn't heard from Brett in 10 years on the radio, and all of a sudden he showed up and started spotting for us. And he just makes Clint better than Clint's an amazing driver, but Brett helps him focus. And we have radios where Brian's able to talk to Brett, and Brian tells Brett, what Brett needs to say to Clint. And it's an amazing coaching job. He's an elite athlete, and he has some great coaching that goes on behind the scenes. And what I love about Clint is he listens to them. Even though he's this guy who can drive a car like very few people can, he takes all that information and he'd like to tell him, to leave him alone, I think, but he knows that it helps. So what a great team effort. Brett deserves a lot of credit.
Let's go to Jenna.
Jennifer AP. My question's for all three of you in a different way, and I know we kind of did this at Sonoma, but Brian, you got fired last year, and Clint.
We gotta go there again.
Yeah, again.
That was a year ago.
Yeah, it was a year ago, but I don't
How's
know.
that working out?
Well, that's what I'm going to get to.
Okay.
And Clint, you were kind of looking for a job, and Michael, you've.
Same.
Yes,
I got fired too.
And Michael, you've had some ups and downs, and now Clint, you're having a career best year, and Brian, you're winning on ovals.
Yeah, finally. Yeah, no
And
doubt.
Michael, you had 3 cars in the top 10 tonight, and now Clint's back in the chase race. I mean, did any of you think that it could get to this point and in this first year together?
Okay, I'll start first, then we'll go down the line. I'll be honest, I don't think Clint wanted to come drive for me, but he's like, damn, I guess I got to. And he said, do you think you got cars I can win with? I said, I promise. We don't yet, but we're building them. They're going to be great, and you're going to be happy. And so it was a leap of faith.
He didn't promise, but Ty did. Ty promised.
It was a leap of faith by Clint and a leap of faith by Brian. And, the main guy that's responsible, everybody always wants to say who deserves credit for the turnaround or not the turnaround. We weren't ever here. Who deserves credit for what's happened at MWR? And if you get right down to it, Rob Kaufman deserves the credit because we went to Rob with a plan that cost a lot of money above budget, a lot of money that I didn't have. I live in an apartment above a pizza joint, for gosh sakes. And we told Rob we really felt like that this plan would enable us to improve our cars so that our drivers could go win races. And Rob endorsed the plan, said, I want to win. I want to be up front. I want to be a contender. And it enabled us to build the cars that we have today that Clint is able to drive so wonderfully and Brian's able to make those calls. So I think the main thing that happened at MWR was we came up with a plan and Rob said, I'll fund that plan.
And not just, you had all 3 cars in the top 10.
Yeah, we built 3 of them.
But I mean,
We built one for each guy. Heck, they even gave me one I almost won with. That tells you how good they are.
adding to that, what Rob brings is a lot of business sense and making this sport make good business sense for our sponsors. Not only did we bring a new sponsor with 5 Hour Energy, we re-signed Napa. We have Aaron's. We have solid sponsorship, throughout our organization. And Michael's done such a good job over the years keeping those. Now that the organization's got the performance side of it down, they truly are, I think setting a standard for our sport of making business sense out of this. calling you. Does anybody have any more questions?
Let's go over here.
All right.
Brian Pattie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how to answer it. I mean, yeah. 12 months ago, I was sitting in a hammock, texting friends of mine at the racetrack when I was at home. So it's come a long ways. Got a great group of guys. My engineers are as good as they get. I don't know. It's really fun to show up at work on Mondays and be respected and glad you're here, and I feel the same way.
We'll take two over here. We'll go David, Nate, then we'll go to the press box and come back to Al. Go ahead, David.
David Newton, ESPN.com. Clint, okay, you're busy. I won't talk.
I see it.
You want to talk about the high wire earlier. So was going for fuel mileage kind of like walking a high wire? I mean, you kind of just feel like you're teetering the whole time?
Well, yeah, except for I don't think you can just run out halfway across the wire. I guess you can fall off, but we can just stop and not get across. Have to camp out right there. It's risky, you know, but you have to be able to do that, especially after the weekend we've had. You know, after Talladega, we had to be able to get back in the game, and more importantly, I mean, you're not even almost, I don't think you're even focused on getting back in the championship hunt as much as you are just getting, you're so worried about, you know, all the positive things that have happened all season long, you know, good momentum, good confidence across the board with our team, with our organization. You know, you have a setback where we all get wrecked, you know, at Talladega. It's easy to get down and get bummed out. To be able to come back here, get all three cars back in the top 10, to win this race, really set the standard of getting on down the road and putting that behind us.
Let's go to Nate, and then we'll go to press box, and then back down here. Go ahead, Nate.
Nate Ryan, USA Today, for Clint and Brian. Clint, you were talking before the chase started about how you run well in the chase because you feel like you go into it with no worries, no concerns, everything's gravy from this point. Halfway through the chase, it's been a lot of focus on this being a three-man battle, 11, 48, 2. Are you guys feel like you're in a good position, even though you're 28 points back halfway through and fourth, that maybe there's been so much of those three guys focusing on each other that you guys maybe can slip in here over the next 5 races?
Man, at the end of the day, it's just we're a hell of a lot better than we were leaving Talladega. You know, I mean, that's as simple as you can answer that question. Yes, I mean, to be back in victory lane and you know, new life, a new hope going into you know, Kansas. I mean, there's a lot of racing left. There's a couple short tracks, Kansas. Nobody really knows what to expect there. It's a repave. You know, these cars that are running fast on these mile-and-a-halfs are going to be fast there, but you don't know if somebody's going to stub their toe, if somebody's going to struggle, if it comes down to fuel mileage. I mean, all it would have took for one of those three cars, you know, to be in the situation that I was in, you know, stretch it out, run out of gas, that opens the door up for everybody. You know, I looked at it last week and going into this week, I still thought if one of those guys were to stub their toe, if Brad stubbed his toe, it really opened the door up for about 8 of us right back into the championship hunt. You know, with the win here, it definitely, you know, gave us new life and new hope.
Well, I mean, it's, you know, 28 points is achievable over the next 5 weeks. It's a lot better than 40, how we started the weekend, so I don't know. It's going to take a lot of work, a lot of help. We're still 4th in points. There's 3 guys you got to pass, not only the points. So we'll go to Kansas on Wednesday and test like hell and try to pick up our program even more than what we have now because we wasn't the fastest car tonight. You know, we just had some strategies. So it'd be nice to win one of these things and actually drive the victory lane.
Let's go to the press box. Go ahead, please.
Upstairs, Louis Frank of Speedway. This is for Brian. You know, you're dealing with Clint. He's got a pretty strong-willed personality, and you've got a pretty strong-willed personality. How long did it take you guys to gel? And, you know, when it comes down to an argument, are you more of a cheerleader, more of a coach, boss? How do you react?
Actually, I think the first phone call was fine, right? Eldora. Yeah, that wasn't working together yet, and we were talking in Eldora, so that was last June. So the relationship's been great since actually before we started working together. So, but I don't know. I just do whatever it takes to get trophies. You know, the team at the shop, the 160 or 200 people that we have working deserve trophies and free bagels on Tuesdays from Sprint. So I just like to see the people's faces at the shop when we show up there with a trophy, and it means a lot. So that's what we focus on here in the last, well, last 5 races.
Go ahead, stay in the press box. Any other questions?
Monty Dutton, Jasper Gazette. You know, people are going to say this was a fuel mileage race, but a fuel mileage race is when everybody else runs out or has to pit it. One guy wins by 20 seconds. You didn't just have to have enough fuel. You have to hold off a guy closing in. Now, Clint, how much of a cooperative arrangement? I mean, how much did Brett Griffin have to do with it? How much did Brian Pattie? How much did you have to do it? Okay. How does that all work when you're balancing the amount of gas you got with the amount of margin you have?
At the end of the day, it's a total team effort. It takes everybody. It takes, a crew, a gas guy to get all the gas in it on a pit stop. That's crucial. That's first and foremost. You've got to make sure that you get all the gas in it. Brian's got to make that gutsy call, and I got to do my job of saving as much gas as I can when I can. And then Brett keeping me calm. I mean, I'm a little bit of a lunatic out there, so to be able to have a spotter. Here's the thing, Brett's just a good friend, and he knows me. Having somebody close to you, I think, is about as much importance as being able to say a car's inside or outside of you. I mean, surely anybody can say, hey, there's an automobile on the inside of you and there's one on the outside of you. Having somebody that knows you, knows your characteristics, knows what you're going through, your demeanor, how to pick you up when you're down, how to calm you down when you're excited. I mean, that's
you out of the mirror.
Get you out. Yeah, he tells me to get out of the mirror a lot. Having that relationship with somebody really helps you. Just to stay on task and stay focused. I mean, it's a total team effort. I mean, it's, making the decisions, what it takes, the engine department, and being able to give us, the fuel mileage and horsepower to get it done. I mean, it's endless. It's not just me. It's not just Brian's call. It's everybody. It's a team effort.
Stay up in the press box. Go ahead. No further. Let's come back down here. I think Jim Utter had a question. Go ahead, Jim. And Al. And Marty.
Jim Utter, Shaw Observer for Michael. You guys, you're the last of what was Toyota's freshman class when they debuted in 2007. You've overcome your own obstacles to be here today, but do you take any special satisfaction in the fact that you've been able to, at this point, be in contention for a championship, and you're the last group that brought them back into the Cup Series?
Certainly. It means the world to me because, they came to me back in 05 and said, we're going to go Cup racing in 07 and we want you to be an owner. And we were racing nationwide cars from behind my house in Charles Ford. But they thought that I could be a good owner for them. And I invested everything I had and everything that they would loan me, which, by the way, they'll loan you a lot more than you think they will. And we're able to survive. And now with the relationship that TRD, MWR, and Joe Gibbs Racing has together, it's enabled us to really have the equipment and the engines and the technology we need to go race against the top teams. And, Rob legitimized MWR on the finance side by giving us the foundation we needed to buy equipment, machinery, hire people, get drivers like Clint and Mark Martin and crew chiefs like Brian Pattie. But very, very happy that they believed in me in 05. We started racing in 07, and here we are in 012 racing for a championship. There's a few things that have happened to me over my racing career that are really special to me, and this relationship is one of those.
Let's go to Al Pierce, and we'll go over here to
I went
Mike
to a whole nother level.
in the corner here. Go ahead, Al.
Yeah, Clint, Al Pierce from Auto Week. This may have been answered, but I may have missed it. When you left pit road after your last stop, did you know without question you would not have to come back?
Had him covered.
Okay.
No. I knew there was a lot of racing left. Yes, that's Chad Canals. We outfoxed him. Anytime you outfox that guy, you've done a good job, especially at this racetrack. So, I don't even remember what the hell you said. What, oh, yeah. No, I didn't. I thought, you never in a million years did I think that the caution wouldn't come out. Something. I mean, there's a lot of racing left, but I knew that we had the upper hand. You know, if it come down to a fuel mileage race, we had track position. We had, we knew we could make it to the end, or we hoped that we could make it to the end. So we definitely had the upper hand. Yes, when I come off of you know, the pit lane, and the cars that were with me in that bunch were still behind me. I mean, that was the most important thing.
We're actually short when we left pit road. He just didn't know that. We're actually short.
Flat.
Yeah, we're a little bit, and so we were just riding there, and he
about
was
a
getting good gas
burnout
mileage.
full. That's how much we were short.
But we're not going to get him excited. You know, that's way too early. We'll let him race, and we'll see what happens.
Can we go now?
Couple more. Right here, Mike Embry's got one, and then we'll go over to this gentleman here, and that might be it. And it'll end with Pockers. Of course, we'll have to end with Pockers.
MikeEmbryspeed.com. Brian, you guys are going to have so much testing and practice time at Kansas next week. You can run all kind of science experiments and whatever. Can the teams that are left in this sort of overthink themselves next week and trying to do too much stuff and packing too many scenarios in? Or
I hope Paul and Chad and those guys do. Yeah, that'd be great. We've got a good test plan. We're taking the car we had at Chicago, ran top 10 there. This is a car we had at Atlanta. It was brand new then. So where are you going? So we got some really good cars coming, and my engineers have some good stuff to try. So we're gonna test for Texas and Homestead, and got a brand new car coming to Martinsville. So it's time to get gritty. Next 5 will be fun.
Over to the corner. Go ahead, sir.
Pete McCall with AutoRacing1.com. This is for Clint. This is the third time you've gone to Victory Lane and the third time you've ended up walking to Victory Lane. Is this going to become a signature move for you now, or are you just going to walk to Victory Lane?
Yes, I hope to walk
in the car.
Definitely hope to walk the next 5 weeks for sure. Need exercise after these races. Need all the exercise you can get. It's fun to walk to Victory Lane. Let me tell you, that's the best walk you could ever have. So I think that's my new trademark. I'll walk home if it means Victory Lane.
Did y'all see on Twitter where Jimmy Johnson said, I just saw Clint Bowyer running and nothing was chasing him? I don't know what's happening. He's turned over a new leaf. He's an exercise guy, and so he walks to Victory Lane.
Yes.
Go ahead, Bob.
Bob Hocker, Sporting News for Clint and Brian. You've been together for 9 months. How much better can you be? I mean, do you feel like you've peaked, or do you feel like you're just kind of starting and can be twice as good as what you are now?
Basically, we're just engaged right now. We're not even married yet, so
it'll be good then.
The romance is good right now. You know, when you get down to the marriage, we'll see how it is. But enjoying the hell out of the engagement right now. Is that understandable?
Yeah, and I was more technical side. The second time the racetracks help a lot. For the notes we've accomplished, or half from the first set of races, you know, leading Daytona, July 4th. So. First race was a struggle. Now we're having fun.
There's Brett Griffin.
There's Brett Griffin over
Why
here.
don't y'all just do some one-on-ones with him?
Hey, let me tell you something. We just blew you up. Everybody knows how good a spotter
You're gonna have
you
more
are.
followers on Twitter than you ever know.
Wait. I got to ask you something real quick. Sit down. You're coming off this win. You know we're racing next week. What's that mean to go home and race in Kansas?
That's probably the biggest thing, is just to be able to come off of you know, this win, going into your hometown, the family, friends, everybody that goes there. It's just so important to be able to roll in, you know, on a positive note, and to be able to win there someday. We've gotten close. If we could possibly pull this off again at Kansas, it would be, you know, that's my. You know, do you dare say Daytona 500? But it truly is. I mean, that's the biggest race that you could possibly win, is in you know, in front of your hometown. I know you've won the Daytona 500 twice, but winning at home. All right, so we went to the NCAA tournament, and Kentucky beat my Jayhawks, and he wore this god-awful Kentucky sweatshirt tonight, and I told him if we win, please do not wear that. But then he, you know, it was the coolest thing ever. So we got to go.
All right, congratulations. Thank you.
See, me and Brian, we don't really get talked to that much. So y'all got anything you want to ask us more about? Like, I don't know if you know or not, but I won the All-Star race here in 1996, and it was a really special night for me then, and then I was able to return to Victory Lane tonight here, and thought that was special. And then I did win the Daytona 500 twice, as Clint mentioned. So any other questions? Anything else about me? You good, Jenna? Homecoming was a success. She said it was a school dance, so how good could it be, Dad? And she was eating sweets with her friends, which is a perfect way for a dad to think that that's the way the night ends.